Hey, what's up everybody, it's MC839 and I am back, this time building an enchanted garden under 1 hour. So our last video that we did where we built under 1 hour, I built a castle under an hour, and a lot of you guys actually did enjoy that, so thank you very much for the support on that one. It was absolutely insane in the membrane, so that's why I decided to immediately, as fast as possible, do another under 1 hour challenge. And in fact, on that video, I got a comment from Julie LaJewel, who's an absolute legend commenting on all the videos. They commented and suggested to do an enchanted forest, so that's pretty much why I'm doing it right now, an enchanted forest, because also I really do like building forest type stuff, and I know I always say it in like pretty much all of my tutorials, pretty much. Like, I love building trees and forests and stuff like that. So when I saw that comment, I was like, oh my god, that's actually brilliant. So that's why I'm building it right now. I like doing this kind of design, you know, with forests and terraforming and trees everywhere. That's just like, that's my jam. That's my, like, that's it. That's the peanut butter and jelly right there in the middle of the sandwich. That's the jam right there. You can that's it, guys. That's the one right there. But anyway, yeah, so that pretty much like, as you can see, a lot of this is actually terraforming. And in case you're wondering, you know, say you want to build something kind of similar to this, or you just, you know, have terraforming in your map, just a little quick little teaser just to let you know, I do have a terraforming tutorial, so if you want to go check it out, there's different types of terraforming in that tutorial, and a lot of those terraformings are kind of terraforming that I do in this video, because I actually do not just the tiny hills, but also like really giant stone terraforming, which I will get to. But check out that tutorial to help you out with terraforming. But as you can see, I really stick to doing a lot of terraforming, right? But I stick to doing a lot of giant trees, and adding just giant branches everywhere is just the way to go. I think the mindset when building the enchanted forest is to make things over exaggerated. So that's why I over exaggerate the terraforming, make it really tall and crazy, and I also over exaggerate the branches too. But this is the type of terraforming that I do. I'm not sure what to call this. I mean, it's kind of like a mountain, kind of like a cliff is the terraforming to do. It's actually a lot easier than it looks, and once again, it is in that tutorial if you want to build this kind of terraforming, but it is a lot easier than it looks. So that's why I'm able to pull off this giant stuff in under 1 hour. But I like doing this cliff kind of thing, I kind of as a barrier just for the enchanted forest, because I wanted to make sure that it looked, you know, kind of organized, you know, like I wanted to make it look, you know, normal. So I did that, and then what I wanted to do, I think this is actually one of my favorite parts of the entire enchanted forest. It's kind of small, but it's one of my favorite parts is what I'm doing right now, and this is a waterfall, and I'm building it, I'm making it look nice with terraforming, using different blocks too. That's the key to do in pretty much any build usually. If you wanted to make it look more detailed and more fancy schmancy, use different blocks to add contrast. So that's why I do use stone and I use grass, but I also add different blocks like the mushroom mycelium, I think that's what it's called. But for the waterfall, I completely let it just fly all the way down, and look at that. Isn't that super cool? Just looking at, like, just falling all the way down. I think that's my favorite part of the thing. And then the next thing I do is add cobwebs, because maybe you guys have seen me do this before in other tutorials as well, but adding cobwebs makes it look like a little bit of a splash, kind of, if that makes any sense, because, you know, in waterfalls, you know, it's not blue, like, water's clear, right? But there's like that white in the waterfall, like, if that makes sense. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. You know, this is what the cobwebs are supposed to represent. Then I go back to adding trees, you know, anywhere. It's kind of a thing, like, this build, there was I never have any picture that I'm looking off of for any build. Pretty much any build, but this one, there's nothing to it. It was just pretty much whatever I have, like, I build along as I go. So it wasn't like I had like a drawing or like an exact mindset when I started the thing. This was the build where I build along as I go. So like I build, like I go on, like I build whatever I'm building, and then when I see something that I think, you know, is needs to be added, that's just when I add it on. So I'm adding terraforming at the top, once again changing up the blocks. I think this is a grass block actually. I forgot what their proper term is, but it's like a shaved like grass block. I forgot what it was called. I can't believe that. But I add detail again. Adding detail, you know, all you have to do to really add detail, to be honest, to anything is just add contrast, you know, like, you know, add something that looks similar. So as you can see, I'm adding andesite to the stone, and it looks similar to stone. It's the kind of similar gray, but when you step back and look at it, it looks cooler and it looks more detailed. Obviously, I expand the river because I wanted the waterfall to actually lead in to the giant river, because it looks more natural like that. Like if it's leading into the river, and that's kind of like how the river gets its water from the waterfall. I had to add a little bit more water with the water buckets, but it was no big deal because I made it connect and it looks super cool. Honestly, I like doing these things. Like, you know, it's one of those things, like, this is the reason why enchanted forests are actually, like, forests in general, like, builds like this, like, wood, kind of builds. This is the reason why these are my favorite to build, because it's pretty much, there's no set thing to it. It's just pretty much whatever I feel like building, whenever I step back. I constantly step back while building it, and it's just whatever I think needs to be added. So that's what was really cool about this. So as you can see, it's looking really nice as we step back and look at it so far. I just needed to add some detail. So coming up with detail, I was trying to think, what can I add to make this look a little bit more detailed? Leaves were the answer to that. And, you know, I added different leaves once again. I actually used, I think, oak leaves and birch leaves together, because it actually looked pretty nice. The contrast was pretty cool. I didn't really want to add spruce leaves, you know, because I wanted to make sure that it looked kind of normal. So spruce leaves were kind of a little off the charts. Same with jungle leaves too. They're kind of wild, if you ask me. So that's why I kept to oak and birch leaves, and I just made it look over exaggerated. Like, put it on the ground, put it on the branches, like, you know, put it everywhere. And then this is something that I did on the Toadstool's Mushroom Forest map, which is an old map. Once again, it's an old map that I made like such a long time ago. But I added like little tiny mushroom kind of stuff, because I think mushrooms are something that you'd find in an enchanted forest, right? You know, there's no real definition to an enchanted forest. You just kind of build whatever comes to mind. So I added, you know, mushrooms everywhere. And honestly, with this map, I think this is one of the things that I like building too, because I kind of built something similar to that. The Toadstool's Mushroom Forest was actually pretty similar to this build, so that's why you can see I add a lot of the similar kind of stuff, including this, which is like a little bit of a lamp kind of post. You know, this is the kind of thing like that I like adding. You know, I like adding just these tiny little extra, you know, like glowstone lamps, covering them in trap doors, because they look cool. They look like I guess like fireflies, kind of. I don't know. That's just kind of what comes to mind. But I mean, I even detail the terraforming too. You know, I add like wood logs facing in different directions, just the different directions that I think, you know, the wood logs should face in. It's pretty simple. I think it's honestly super cool. This is just one of the things where, like, this is one of the builds where it's almost like there can't be enough detail. Like, you can almost always find a way to detail this, you know, like even more and more and more. You know, bone meal, doing absolutely anything to this build, and this is just honestly so good, and it comes along so nicely in the end. And as you can see, we're pretty much done with this build, because like when you step back and look at it, it looks so cool. It looks like an enchanted forest. Now, once again, I apologize if it looks smaller than you expected. If you expected a giant, ridiculous forest, then my bad, but, you know, it's under 1 hour. That's a part of the challenge. But so this took me an hour to build, and I think it looks pretty cool. I think the detail's there. I think, you know, the scale maybe not, but I think the detail is what comes into play the most in this. So I think this turned out pretty good, in my opinion. So if let me know how I can't speak. Let me know in the comment section down below how you think I did on this build, if you guys like it or not, and if you guys have any suggestions for other under 1 hour challenges to build, let me know in the comments down below. I might do them. We'll see. But thank you guys for watching if you watched till the very end, and I will see you in the next video.